When you have blackheads, whiteheads, acne, pulling them out with an instrument or tweezers or using manual pressure to pinch your skin comes with a package. I don't recommend you doing this. This could actually be dangerous to your skin. I did this the wrong way. I put a lot of scarring on my face. What are those little structures that bring the oil to the surface of your skin? The root cause of a blackhead, a whitehead, acne are all coming from the same thing. The solution I'm going to talk about is way better than the topical creams that people are using for these issues. It's just treating the symptom. We're not fixing the cause. When we're dealing with any skin problems, it's so important to identify the real problem before we even get to a solution. If you look up blackheads, whiteheads, it'll list things like bacterial infection, you have too many dead skin cells. The difference between a whitehead and a blackhead, when you have a blackhead, the oil inside the pore is more exposed to oxygen and it's oxidizing, like an apple would turn brown, versus a whitehead, which is something that's not exposed to oxygen. When we're talking about pus, we're mainly talking about oil. One big confusion of the actual problem is thinking that the person is just producing too much oil. And that's what's causing this whole problem. Some of these topical creams do work, at least temporarily. I'm also talking about another cream called annatto extract, which is loaded with a very special type of vitamin E, which does help control the oil to some degree. One of the big things that I want to share with you is that a lot of people actually are solving the wrong problem. That is actually not true. It's not the excess oil production. The real problem is this. That little gland is producing thicker, stickier oil that doesn't flow like normal oil. What's behind that? What causes this sticky oil? There are 5 causes. The 5th cause is the most common. I just want to run through all of them so you know what they all are because they all relate to what we're going to do about it. The first thing is hormones. We know in puberty, your androgens, including testosterone, are going to be a little bit too high. That produces a high level of a certain type of testosterone called DHT. DHT makes your oil into like a glue, sticky, thick substance. Number 2, the other hormone involved in this is insulin. Having too much insulin will then raise your androgen levels. You know that insulin that's triggered by carbohydrates, sugars, starches. Too much insulin will also block number 3, which is a zinc deficiency. When you're eating a lot of refined carbs and sugar, you're depleting your zinc. Zinc is crucial in regulating the amount of oil that that gland produces. And if you're deficient in zinc, not only will you produce too much oil, that oil will be thicker, it'll be stickier. Zinc is also needed to prevent the excess amount of that powerful testosterone called DHT. Can you see how this relates? It's important to know all these pieces to this puzzle because let's go to number 4, and this is in vitamin A deficiency. When you're deficient in vitamin A, you get very sticky, thick oil and it plugs everything up. And by the way, you need zinc to allow vitamin A to work. They both work together. This last thing, number 5, is the most important thing you need to know. And this is based on the fact that the oil in your skin is mostly an unsaturated fat. Why is that so significant? Because other unsaturated fats that you consume make up that oil. Seed oils are highly processed. When you consume them, they start making up the oil in your skin. Now we don't have something natural. We have something very highly pro-inflammatory. All that seed oil will build up in your liver and prevent you from making enough bile to be able to even absorb fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K. You need a healthy liver to get enough vitamin A for your body to actually have good skin. We're dealing with an industrial oil that should never be in our diet. Unfortunately, these seed oils will stay in your body for literally 1.5 years to up to 2 years. So you're going to have to avoid seed oils for a good amount of time. What type of foods are creating this problem? Well, ultra-processed foods are creating this problem. Because what's in an ultra-processed food? Refined sugars, and we have refined starches. And I don't know if you know this, but the more refined sugar you eat, the more refined starch you eat, the more you deplete yourself of zinc. And all these processed ingredients destroy the liver, which actually prevents you from even using vitamin A in the first place. And on top of all that, the sugar, the starch will really jack up your insulin levels, as well as the seed oils will also create insulin resistance, which will then cause your body to make more insulin. Your skin is getting hit from every angle. Let's look at the opposite of that. What should we be eating to keep our androgens low, our insulin low, to have enough zinc, to have enough vitamin A, low carbohydrate? Okay, we don't want to eat sugar or starch. Your skin's going to start to heal. In addition to reducing the seed oils, there's other foods that are high in omega-6 fatty acids as well. And that would also be animals that are fed grains, like chicken. The eggs from chicken could potentially make things worse, and even pigs that are fed grain. And this is why I'm going to recommend consuming grass-fed beef, lamb, wild-caught fish, sardines, shellfish, which is high in zinc. And by the way, red meat is loaded with zinc, but you can get your vitamin A from grass-fed butter as well as from grass-fed beef liver, and cod liver oil is loaded with vitamin A. This simple switch from avoiding these junk foods and eating these healthy foods will get at the root of your skin problems in the fastest way possible without having to cope and treat the symptom anymore. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.